Welcome back to the BJJ Fanatics podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Ford. My guest today is a cult icon in the jiu-jitsu community. He's a 4th degree black belt in Brazilian jiu-jitsu, a no-gi world champion, a multiple-time Pan Am's champion. He's currently teaching at La Miranda Jiu-Jitsu in Lafayette, California, just outside of San Francisco, as well as the Ralph Gracie Academy in downtown San Francisco. You may have seen him on TV as he was featured on Anthony Bourdain's Parts Unknown. His move of the week has been a hit on YouTube for over a decade now. Ladies and gentlemen, joining me today for our 29th interview together, my good buddy Kurt Osiander. How are you today, Kurt?
What's up? Good morning, Ryan. What's going on?
Good morning, Kurt. Good to see you, man. I understand that you are cold at the moment in San Francisco and your arthritis is kicking in.
It's not good. I could have told you it was going to rain 3 days ago, but now it's raining and it's cold, so it's not just the rain, it's fucking cold.
You ever notice that people with arthritis and just different ailments, there's always like a secondary power that comes with it? Like you can tell if there's going to be like a good harvest this year or like
something like that, right? I was like going, oh fuck, it's gonna rain, and they're like, how do you know? And I'm, oh, well, I watch the weather and my fucking body hurts.
There's got to be some kind of science to it somewhere, I'm sure. I haven't looked into it, but you know that's probably in my future.
That's why all the old people move to Florida or Arizona or somewhere fucking warm that's constant, right? I see the wisdom in it now.
Right. We all have that in our. If you stick around in jiu-jitsu long enough, that's the future for all of us. We'll all be predicting the weather pretty soon.
I think so.
Yeah.
A lot of people are how could I say, sidestepping that part of the aging process because they're on sauce, and I don't know how long that'll hold out. And they're like, Kurt, just go and get on TRT and stuff like that. I'm all, I can't. I asked my doctor and they won't let me. They're like, no, you can't be on that. And I'm like, fuck, everybody else is.
Is it because you already have the testosterone of 10 men?
I guess.
You're barbarian.
I don't know. They're all, they check all my stuff and they're like, you're fine. And I'm like, fuck, I don't feel fine.
It's the result of your barbarian bloodline, dude.
I feel fucked up, you guys. I don't think you understand. I need some fucking extra help. And they're like, no. You don't need that.
Have you looked into like stem cells or like peptides or anything like that?
No, I was talking to some of the guys because one of the old time guys, Scotty OTM.
Yeah, man, Scotty Nelson. Yeah.
Yeah. He's got a place down there in Mexico, and he's all, dude, you can come down here, we'll fucking stem cell you. And I'm like, yeah, I don't, because it was like before I had gotten my hips replaced. And he's like, yeah, we'll just stem cell that shit, and you won't need it. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think it's like that. I think they're totally worn out, and they're gonna have to replace them. So, yeah, so I didn't go with the stem cells. Instead, I got hips, but they're working pretty good, considering I just got to watch, like when I do like, lotus position and stuff like that. They don't want me to do frog legs, like that. That's what they call it. And I'm like, what? They're like, yeah, don't do anything with frog legs. And I'm like eat them or pretend I'm a frog or what,
Kurt identifying as a frog now. That'd be great.
Yeah. So basically it took away a lot of my game, and now I'm like rolling around and fucking everybody's just kicking my ass so badly. It's not even funny. And I can't do a lot of the things I used to do, which is now I have to develop a whole new game. Well, it's called the lie and wait game.
It's like crawl atop me and meet your doom.
I'm like, okay, this is gonna take a few hours, so you just keep attacking me until you tire out, and then I'll choke you. Fuck.
Exactly. That's great. Well, dude, I mean, that's one of the beauties of jiu-jitsu, though, man, is that you can adapt your game and you can pivot at any time. There's people.
Oh yeah. And they're all, so what are you thinking you're gonna do with your game, Amal? I don't know. It's right now. I'm like, I'm like super like because I sat for 2 years. I operated for 1 year, and then I made my like rehab last year, and then I go, okay, fuck it, I'm gonna get on the mat. And so now I'm on the mat and everything, and I'm like, it's still fun and I love it, and teaching is great and everything, but man, I miss my old game.
Yeah. Well, what's changed the most? So you can't do basically like a butterfly type position. Is that what you're saying? Like you can't have like.
Yeah. Well, I'm not supposed to sit like Indian style like this, like a ham right now.
Yeah. Okay.
and I'm not supposed to open my knees really wide, like to get my butt down, and stuff like that. And I'm like showing this to the doctor, and he's all, stop doing that. And I'm like, what? He's like, you can't do that. I'm like, what about this? What if I put my leg in front and I repose my guard? He's like, no, stop that.
So what are you having to play now? I mean, dude, you've been a half guard player for a long time though, man. That seems like a pretty safe position, right?
Yeah, I'm still playing that, and then I was having like visions of grandeur and stuff like that, and going, oh fuck yeah, I'm gonna go back to my fucking lasso and my fucking butterfly guard and stuff like that, and it's just I guess just a lot of well, I guess the joint that they put in, right? It only goes like normal human radius, And I'm like, no, I'm gonna do this, and they're like, no, you can't do that. Your fucking hip will dislocate. And I'm like, will it? And they're like, you don't want to find out, because if it dislocates, you're gonna have to go to the emergency ward. They're gonna fucking have to morphine you. I'm like, oh, where's the bad part? And then we're gonna have to pop it back in, and I'm like, yeah, I don't want that. So
no, that part won't be fun.
Yeah.
It's all fun with morphine until they have to start snapping your hip back in place, and then the trip goes south real fast.
So when they do the actual replacement, they put you in these I-beams, and they're literally I-beams. And so one leg goes in the other one I-beam, and the other leg goes in the other I-beam, and they strap you down this table in like a sacrificial pose, and then one of the I-beams, it goes like this. It's like this. It raises up, and it crosses all the way over until your leg dislocates.
Oh my God.
Well, you're unconscious.
Yeah. I hope so. I was gonna say I hope so, dude. That'd be awful. It does sound. You
are unconscious.
It all does sound very kinky, though. Yeah, for sure.
So first they strap you down, and then I'm like, all right, and I look at the apparatus, and I'm like, I wanted to like lean over and listen. It's made out of I-beams, and there's Makita tools. I'm like, where am I? The fucking workshop? And it's pretty much, it's a fucking abstract butcher shop.
Wow.
And so they raise your leg up, and they slit your hip, and they dislocate it. It pops out of your fucking side there. And they start chopping things up, and then fucking router. They had a router there. Fuck, it was gnarly.
Dude, that's nuts, man. Dude, I've been watching a lot of like Western documentaries lately. I'm kind of on this kick of watching like old Wild West, like frontier.
No, the westward expansion was fucking brutal.
Bro, it was awful. And one of the things they talk about a lot is amputations. So they basically talk about the tools that they would use, and they demonstrated on like a pig leg, like how they would have to amputate somebody. Dude, and like you get amputees that just like scratch their finger on something, and next thing you know, like the whole arm has to go because of
because of the climate. Well, that was really prevalent in the Civil War, and of course every war spurs on medical innovation. Right. And so that's what they learned about, in Civil War. That I guess there would be like they still find like sites and everything where there was like the what would be their medevac. Right. And they find like holes filled with just feet and arms, legs, feet and arms. Right. Because if you got shot with that fucking 50 caliber mini ball, it was going subsonic, right? Yeah. So it would hit you, and it would take your dirty clothes inside of you.
Oh, dude! So
like the size of a mini ball, right? So it would fucking hit and take in like your dirty uniform into your fucking wound, and then the mini ball would go in, and if it was like a limb, it would break that limb because the size of the caliber of the ball.
Yeah. Jeez, dude.
And then, of course, they're like, oh, you got shot. Hold him down. and then they
wouldn't even
saw that limb off.
Yeah, they wouldn't even wait for the gangrene and stuff to set in because they just know it's coming because of the clothing. That's nuts, dude. Yeah, they. I don't even know how I got on this kick with these Western documentaries, but yeah, they were talking about how, yeah, like all the time there'd be like former Civil War soldiers that would end up as like cowhands. And it's always a guy like one-armed Willie, or like, you know, a guy has like a missing eye. It's always like some horrible...
You gotta read this book about Kit Carson.
Yeah, it's good.
It's so good. He's such a gnarly little fucking mean fucker. He was Civil War, and then he was like, okay, and then he started like taking people through, you know, all the territories and all the Indians and stuff like that. And fucking, he was a gnarly guy. It's a good read.
I'll definitely check. Yeah, send me the link to that, or send me at least the name of it so I can look it up and
all right,
put it on my list.
I have the book at home somewhere.
Yeah, dude, I was thinking about you the other day too, because one of them was talking about Cheyenne, Wyoming, which is where Kano's your first affiliate was located for a while.
That's straight up cowboy land.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, Cheyenne still looks, I mean, it's like really, there's really new stuff, and then there's like really old stuff, and they still have Western days and rodeos and shit like that, man. That's Cowtown. That's for sure fucking cowboy land.
Yeah, that's what they were saying.
You'd be out there, and you're out there, and then all of a sudden the Indians are, hey, let's go take their shit.
Another Tuesday out there, yeah, dude. It's interesting. So I always thought of like Cheyenne, Wyoming, as this like really like middle of nowhere kind of place, but they were talking about how it was really like a big boom town for the time. Like you'd think it was like an old, like what you see in cowboy films, where it's just like saloons and a post office. It was actually like a bustling city because they had like these.
It was a bustling city. Yeah,
they had these cattle barons that were making like millions of dollars back then. So it was it's interesting stuff, man. But I know you've been out there a bunch, so I was thinking about you when I saw that. What do you think? What do you think if you were in the Wild West? What would you have been? Do you think? Would you have been like a
bandit?
I was going to say an outlaw. Yeah, that probably would have been. That'd have been the lifestyle for Kurt Osiander, I think. Yeah.
I would have been probably like one of those guys going, yeah, let's go west and let's kill everything in front of us.
just again, your barbarian roots, man. You can't escape them.
Yeah.
You just can't.
I'd end up like fucking Custard.
Yeah, right.
Hey, there's a good thing. It's an older one, but it's a documentary on Custard and everything, and his illustrious career and how they were like, you know, then they rode into, you know, Bighorn and everything like that, and all of a sudden they rode in all right, and they were fucking immediately surrounded, and their guys like, and so they did like a forensic like a take of the whole field of battle, and they're like, fuck, there's a lot of bullets where the guys were, and they're like, fuck, the Indians had all kinds of repeating Winchesters, old musket loaders, anything they could get that would fucking be equal to a gun, right? They had, and they found out that these guys fucking dropped their weapons and started running, and then they would run this way, and there was like a pack of guys all cut down, and then they would find, you know, like, and they're like, these guys didn't make a big glorious stand. They were like fucked up and killed. Yeah, they talked about that a lot too. They always, I think the common misconception is that the Native Americans always had just bow and arrows against cowboys with guns. They had guns too, man. They had rifles for a long time. In fact, there's always this, like every time you see a picture of Geronimo, he always had a rifle. He never posed with like, and he had a fucking lever action Winchester.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. And the whole Custard and Crazy Horse. I read a book about that a long time ago, but that was a really interesting phase too, man. Mm-hmm. What I found fascinating about back then is, dude, back then they were encouraging people to go out there and just offering them like free land. Like they were just saying, if you set up camp and you're there for like 5 years, it's yours.
Yes.
Crazy.
Like, remember, like they call the Oklahoma the Sooners, you know, right? And so that was like a land grant that we pulled up on Oklahoma, which, holy shit, that fucking place.
That was like part of Comanche territory too out there.
Yes, exactly.
Really dangerous.
And they're like, all right, you guys are going to race and put your flags up, and then you get that land. And the Indians are like, yeah, you guys race and get that land.
We'll take your scalps. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's crazy because they were like encouraging like all like Irish and German immigrants to just like, yeah, there's all this free land out there if you go. So like, oh, okay. And they don't mention anything about like the Comanches and like the Sioux and like all these, like, these tribes of dudes that are like ready to rip your head off. And then they fucking fucked each other up. The Indians would fucking raid each other. Yeah, for sure.
Enslave, you know, the captured, and then fucking torture and kill the fucking males, and you know, normal day business.
Yeah, a lot of tribal warfare for sure. I was also reading how, or watching on this documentary, how there was all this beef between, no pun intended, but this beef between the cattle barons and the settlers, the people that were the Sooners that were coming out there and setting up, because they had like their cows free to roam across the entire plains of like what's now modern Texas and Arkansas and Arizona, or not Arizona, Oklahoma and all that, and how, you know, they were just roam out there, but then these people were setting up barbed wire fences and claiming their houses, and they literally went to war. Like they started, like the cattle barons started attacking settlers too. So it was the native tribes plus these cattle barons that were attacking these immigrants.
There was a lot of things against you in surviving, and the disease and the fucking starvation, and man.
What would have been so you mentioned you would have been an outlaw. What would have been like your modus operandi? What would you have been if you were going to start like an outlaw gang? What would be your main thing you'd rob, and how?
I would rob the railroads, because they were transporting some good stuff. They would have stuff, railroads or stagecoaches, right? Who are paying like. The miners are paying, you know, so you get the big loot.
So you'd be one of those guys that like straps a little TNT to the railroad and presses that little igniter and blows it up and derails the train.
Yeah, exactly.
I could totally see you doing all of this for sure. Like, dude, I've always said you were born in the wrong century, dude. You really were. You should have been gladiator or bandit.
Back then, I think that like the morality of doing things, like whether you were in the right or in the wrong, the right was wrong also. You know what I'm saying? Those guys were just as bad as the bad guys. They were just fucking dressed different. That's it.
That's true. Well, justice was also handed out pretty swiftly, man. Like if you did anything wrong, you get hanged for it. Like if you like took a cow on your property that had a brand of somebody else, like they'd hang you for that, even if you weren't, you know, killing it to eat it or anything. So yeah, it was definitely a harsher time, man. But anyway, back to jiu-jitsu, man. Sorry about that detour. So you're back to training now. You started training in December. How's that been going? How have you been feeling physically?
It's good. I mean, you know, it's like I'm a lot weaker and have to be more technical. And luckily, I have overdeveloped defense, so I can survive for a long time. But you know, it sucks dick. I'm on bottom, and these guys are riding me like a rented mule. All right, it's fucking sucks. The only thing is that they can't tap me, and they're like, fuck, how come you can defend all this shit? I'm all, fuck, I used to fucking, my training partner was fucking Half, and he'd fucking, what do you think? I'd be on offense with him?
Yeah, right.
Fuck no, I'd be on fucking defense, and that's why I got good at fucking, now I can protect my neck, I can protect my arms, I can, you know, the whole thing is okay, but it fucking sucks being on defense all the time.
Yeah, but you build survivability, like you said, man. It really is. That's an important for anyone out there getting their ass kicked a lot as white belts and blue belts and stuff, man. That's all. It's worth it. Like the ends justify the means, you know.
If you never like experience that or don't concentrate on your defense because you're like maybe really talented or whatever, or very strong or very athletic or whatever, and you're like, I'm just going to come in and kick everybody's ass, but somebody's going to come and kick your ass. And then if you don't have defense, that ass whipping's going to be bad.
Yeah, sure.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, you see that happen sometimes.
It's going to be an eye opener, because I've seen like really good guys all of a sudden have a person come in with a fucking anti-game to their game, and then they're like sitting over in the corner talking to themselves afterwards.
Yeah. Mumbling their life, writing a manifesto in the corner.
I don't know what happened today. All I remember is he was behind me.
What you said there is so true, man. There are people that exist out there for everyone, I think, that have your anti-game. Like whatever it is about their game, it's just the kryptonite for whatever you're doing.
It just does something. I don't know how to explain it. There is no explaining it.
Do you remember someone from your time training that was like that, like back in the half days, that always had your number somehow? Yeah, Luke. Once Luke figured me out, he would do stuff and he would fuck me up, and he'd giggle while he did it. He's like, I know you're gonna do that. And I'm like, shut up, stop talking to me. You know? Yeah, there's nothing worse than someone like chatting with you casually as they're beating the shit out of you.
Yeah, and they're like, no, and they're narrating it, and now I'm gonna do this, and I'm like, stop talking to me. You know, and then get swept immediately, and now I'm gonna put this, and you're gonna fly that way, and I'm like, what? Yeah.
It's just psychological torture, man. It's horrible. But we all go through it though. What do you do when you run upon someone that has your anti-game? Like, what's the best way to approach?
You go bread and butter. You go really, really super basic game. Super. Because I'll just go, fuck that. I'm gonna go right back to my basics. And I'll be safe. I'm not going to try anything not even anything fancy at all. I don't do anything fancy anyway. But now I'm going to really cut everything out. And I'm going to move really fucking slow.
Yeah, slowing down's another interesting thing. I think like finding way, like you mentioned earlier that you used to like to play a lot of lasso and things like that. I think lasso and half guard and positions like that are great because it really allows you to hit the brakes on your opponent. Like it's something that really makes them have to stop and analyze and sort of slowly work their way out of. There's no like quick, fast finesse ways to pass half guard or lasso. You really do have to address, you have to address the configuration and work your way out.
Yeah, that's why now I'm just like, fuck that, I'm on bottom, you're fucking going in my closed guard, and they're like, fuck, I'm gonna be stuck here. And I'm like, fuck yeah, you're gonna be stuck here, because I'm not opening anything. You can't choke me from here. Yeah. Now I'm gonna fucking just harass you the whole time, you know, and break your posture, and finally they get pissed off, you know. Hopefully that the basic game will frustrate them, because a lot of guys, they jump to open guard and they want a loose open game, and I'm like, yeah, I know you want a nice open game, but I'm not gonna give you that, you know. Fuck that. I'm not going to jump around like you. Fuck that. I'm going to be a wet concrete blanket.
That's effective for sure, man. Yeah, it's something that it's also nice because it's something that you can rely on throughout your entire time training jiu-jitsu. Like, there's a lot of people that I see that are over 50, for example, that are real tough rolls, who half guard is like the go-to spot for them. And it's a place where they can really turn things around and play safely.
Everybody's missing their knees.
Exactly. But the cool thing is, it's great for younger, more athletic people too. It really is like a very universal position. It's actually, half guard's actually my main focus personally in my own game for 2024. I'm
Damien
really
Maya's got a fucking awesome half guard.
Yes, he does. Yeah, so I'm in a good place because all Damien's black belts too have a very similar game to Damien. One of my good buddies, Diego Paiva, they call him Tenso. Tenso has a game that's like an exact copy of Damien's, and I get to roll with him a lot too. So it's cool. I'm hoping that some of that'll rub off on me, and I get to kind of see the things that.
Of course it will.
Yeah. Because half guard, I don't know why, man. Half guard's a position that I've always respected, but never really played so much myself. So now I'm trying to build that up. It's a spot I really do need to sharpen up a lot. I'm confident in my closed guard. I'm confident with the open guard variations that I play. But there's always that middle ground where, as they're trying to pass or as I'm trying to recover, I end up in half guard, and then it's just a place I don't have a whole lot of options from. So I'm trying to fix that. So I definitely want to pick your brain on that too. So you can really like slow people down, and like if you like follow like the things that I do, like as soon as the guy pushes into my half, I immediately like contract my abs and get my elbow underneath my rib cage and get my top shoulder over the bottom shoulder. Yeah. So I'm already cocked like this, because you can't be even, and you definitely can't have the top shoulder behind your lower shoulder, because they'll just lay you down. Yeah, you get flat. And that's what they need to do, right? So I immediately go to like scolded child position, where I'm like, Dude, what a name. What a name.
Oh my God. Right? Scolded child position. And I'm like, and the guy's like, what the fuck? I can't get the fuck out of it. I can't go forward. And he's just laying there. And I'm like, and then I'll get my underhook. And then I'm like, and now I'm gonna start to do my thing, you know?
Yeah, I'm sure there's also tactical benefits to making the crying noises too, the sobbing sound. You just
like, what the fuck?
Total confusion. You snatch up underhooks real easy while they're distracted by that.
They're like, oh, I must have hurt him or something. He's like,
Kurt's having a crisis here. What's going on? Oh, that's
he just put me in half guard and started crying.
So stupid. Oh my God. But
yeah, but it's funny.
Yeah, but it's one of those things about half guard too is that I'm going through right now. I'm going through John Danaher's half guard instructional that he put with us. And something he talks about a lot, he emphasizes this all the time, is the importance that whoever has head and arm control is usually going to win the position. So if the guy on the bottom, if you're playing half guard and you've got the head and the arm in check, you're playing your half guard. Versus if they're controlling your head and arm, they're in a better passing. They're likely going to get the pass. So I'm trying to be more I'm trying to be more mindful of that. What are some other things you think are important besides that concept?
It's just like, it's true. What he's saying is really true. And that's why I don't have this arm like this. The bottom arm can't be like that. And since the guy might grab my sleeve and stuff like that. When he pulls though, since I'm shoulder over and I have my elbow underneath my own ribs, he just pulls me up off the floor and he's like, why won't your fucking arm pull out? And I go, I'm trying to teach you something. And the reason why is because my arm is not beyond here. Because I'm like right here. And he's like, how are you going to reach over there? I'll get there when I scoot to my position, then it's going to be right there, you know? Yeah. But if I'm out here, if I can look at you in half guard and I can see your face, you're not in the right spot.
Yeah. You want to be deep lower towards the hips. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm going to put my ear by his dick.
Yeah, that's an excellent marking point. Yeah, very, very good. Very good visual.
That's what you should see. Okay, so when I teach the girls half guard, I'm like, put your ear by his dick. And she's all, she doesn't have a dick, Kurt. I'm all, just pretend.
Just pretend.
You know what I mean? I might say it really crudely and everything, but you know what I mean, right? And they're like, okay, I get it. And I'm like, all right, so now get all the way down there. And they're like, do I have to? Oh, yeah, do you want to get choked? Put your head out a little bit further. You'll get choked.
That's definitely important. Yeah, that's something I'm running into too. Like a lot, as I've started to play half guard more this year, I've definitely got caught in a couple guillotines. Well, as I'm figuring out where my head needs to be better, because there's certain places where I think my head's okay, but then you go with someone that has a pretty good front headlock or pretty good guillotine game, and they find a way. So.
If they have longer arms, you have to get underneath them.
Yeah.
Right. So my theory is this: if I'm between your legs, there's no way for you to choke me because my head is so deep by their dick, that if they want to start to dig around and look for me, they have to literally lift up and look for me.
Yes.
Because I'm so deep, right? So that's like the key. Like, I think is the first thing you got to do is sink down, and then then the guy's gonna move around and stuff like that. And then if you have your arm in the right place, and you start getting your grips and everything, and now both my limbs are used up, and so I have to use my head. And so that's when I turn my head and I put my forehead on the floor, and then my butt will turn. You know what I'm saying? And then I'll come up on that single, which is like one of the sweeps that I do from half guard. Is like I always get to that position, and then it makes it even easier for me to go to deep half if I want to go to deep half, right?
Do you play a lot of deep half? Is that a big part of your game?
I do that because for some reason I got really good at passing all the straps and making all these crazy grips that I do.
Yeah.
I'm always trying to like think of stuff that like I can stop their hips.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so I got really lucky because Half's good buddy is Roberto Correa, Gordo.
Yeah, Gordo. Yeah.
And Gordo, to me, I mean, I'm sure that there's a lot of people who have added to it, but in my mind, the person who invented half guard was Gordo.
Yeah, 100%.
Right?
Yeah, he revolutionized the position for sure. Yeah.
Right? And then a lot of people went, whoa, that's fucking a valid position. It's not so good in fighting, though.
But actually, in the UFC, yeah, in the UFC, the half guard's like a
no,
really...
Damien did.
Yeah.
But see, the thing is you have to go when it's right then. You can't go and post up there.
Yeah, no. Yeah, definitely not.
You enter and it moves, right? And if you enter and it moves, the guy can't, stabilize himself. He goes on bottom and everything's cool. But if you fucking all of a sudden like go ear and like freeze up, right? The guy's like, yeah, right on.
Yeah, it's like, thank you. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I was just interviewing Ronnie Yaya, and he was talking about how statistically he found that in the UFC, the half guard, most sweeps happen from half guard in MMA. But you're right. You have to. It's all about where you're keeping yourself in your position. So it's definitely a very, very diverse and valuable position. I also like that you mentioned Gordo because Gordo. I agree with you. I think he's the one that really revolutionized half guard. It seems like before him, half guard was more like a recovery point. It was like literally the halfway point between full guard and being in bottom side control. So yeah, he's the one that's
the way
sweeps and stuff from
the way Half taught half guard, and this was so long ago, is like he's all okay. The guy pushed you into your half. You got to have your hand position, and then we're gonna get back to our closed guard. And that was the first stop, and that was before he had gone home, and Gordo had hurt his knee, and he came back and he goes, and I had hurt my knee, and he goes, here, let me show you what my friend Gordo's doing, and he showed me my first half guard thing, and I was like, oh, so you put the hurt knee on the bottom, so it doesn't take so much strain, you know what I'm saying, and so that definitely changed my game a lot, and then. But to this day, the way that Half taught me, he goes, if your knees are good and you're not hurt, you don't need half guard. And so I kind of tell that to my guys that are, starting to get ideas. They always get ideas, Ryan. They think they know everything. And they fucking know more than me. And then so fuck. And I just go, fuck you. And so that's pretty much my answer for a lot of things. Fuck you. And I go, if you don't need half guard because you still have your knees. So always work back to get your closed guard, and then you can open guard and, like this. And they're like, but what if they go in my half guard? And I'm like, well, don't pee your pants. You're going to do this. And so, it is important to know what to do and everything, but in reality, it was developed for crippled people.
Yeah. Well, dude, it's funny. So I interviewed Gordo many years ago and talked to him about that, and he did mention that it was because of a knee injury that he had to start focusing on his half guard. And he mentioned that before that he always played closed guard. Closed guard was kind of his preferred position. And so it's interesting how and that's one example of many that I've had over the years on the show where someone finds their specialty via working around an injury. And I'm curious, have you found that like with your situation you're in right now, like you've had to abandon things like lasso and butterfly? Is there anything in your game that you are, I guess, expanding upon or learning different that you didn't do before?
Yeah, I'm definitely learning how to move my ass out of the way more, but I'm having to depend on a lot of basics, just like having a really good elbow escape, being to elbow escape out of someone trying to mount you. Dispersing their weight so that they do go on bottom, and stuff like that. I have to be really, really, really accurate when I'm training with like the black belts and the brown belts, because I'll let them kick my ass. You know what I'm saying? And then I'll go, okay, I'll go and kill some of these blue belts. And they're just like so wild. And I'm like, fuck, my leg is going to come off in this. So I have to be sensible about my training. Yeah. I want to train really hard, but then I know that I'll just be hurt worse.
Yeah. No, that makes perfect sense. Yeah. Are you rolling mostly at La Marinda, or are you rolling at Half's also?
I've been just training here with the brown and black belts here.
Nice.
So and there's plenty here. There's plenty of them here.
Yeah. Well,
some of them are very fat though. It's like brown belt comes over and he's like, "You want to roll?" I'm like, "Yeah, if you fucking lose 40 pounds." Stop eating fucking everything.
How do you deal with that? That's a good question. How do you deal with the big guy? How do you, for the people out there? I'm sure your student retention is outstanding, the way you talk to these people.
Hey, you'll be great after we take fucking 50 pounds off of your fat ass. Oh my God. I can't sell like that, okay?
No, yeah,
you don't sell like that.
You'll have an empty academy real quick, dude. What do you do? What do you do to deal with bigger opponents? Like, what's a way to deal with?
You have to be first.
Yeah.
You can't let them set up because they're a fucking blob or whatever, and they know jiu-jitsu. So if you let them set up, it's just gonna go all wrong. It's gonna be like a landslide of blubber. A blubbery landslide. And I'm like, don't eat me.
Good Lord. So when you say be first, like say you have like a 150-pound student who's about to roll with a 300+ pound student. What specifically, like let's say the smaller guy's a guard player. What would you instruct him to do if you were coaching him live?
Well, if he's going to do an outside pass, if he's on top and just outspeed the guy, and he can't do inversions and go upside down so good because his stomach is this big. Yeah. And so he's not going to go upside down. And he's not going to do a really flexible guard. So do an outside pass instead of trying to do a grind pass. And then if he's on bottom, immediately off center him and fucking arm drag him or something, and then get out from underneath.
Yeah, you want to be clear of the pressure zone, basically. You don't want to be in a place.
Yeah, always going off angle like this so that the pressure's not like directly this way on top of you. So you're always he's trying to do this and like smash you down like this. I always go out either way so that the pressure he falls like a big fat guy does.
Gracefully. He gracefully descends to the mat, Kurt.
and bounces. And he drops his donut.
Oh my God. Dude, one of the things that's helped me a lot with big people is just being mobile. Like being like not like I found the mistake I was making for a long time was trying to defend one spot on the mat with my guard. But once I started like leaving that spot, making them chase me and follow me a little bit, that started to help me a lot. And I can see what you're saying about angles. It helps you create angles that way too. So
you got to angle out.
Yeah. And for the big guys to flip this over and help these people that you're so viciously beating up on right now, what they want to basically act first and get the pressure zone accomplished quickly.
Yes, they want to get tied to them, make contact and then tied to them, and then slowly devour them and smash them into jelly and spread them on bread like other giants do.
That's amazing. That's awesome. Well, guys, listen. Kurt has a great instructional with us where he covers all kinds of fundamentals in jiu-jitsu. In fact, it's a fundamental based instructional, but he covers many different positions. It's called Fundamentals of a Jiu-Jitsu Renegade. It's available right now at bjjfanatics.com. So check it out. Kurt, man, you've played the pummel game 100 times, but what does it hurt to play 101 times? You down to play the pummel again?
Exactly.
All right. What hurts?
Yes.
All right, buddy. Let's play the pummel. Here we go. I'm gonna try to ask some things that I haven't asked you so frequently. What's a celebrity you'd most like to choke? There's a big fucking influx of fucking Hollywood guys that are fucking training now. Yes,
you notice that?
There are. I have noticed that.
Like a whole bunch of there's a whole bunch of pretty boys, and then who else? And Keanu, and then what's his name? The guy from Peaky Blinders. He's fucking some sort of deadly fucking blue belt who just got his purple belt. So
yeah. You're talking about Tom Hardy.
You know who I'm talking about?
Tom Hardy.
Yes,
yeah.
Tom Hardy.
Yeah. Great actor.
So and then fucking Jason Statham is fucking like, oh, fucking jiu-jitsu's fucking, it's great, mate. It's great.
It's more and more people jumping in, man. Tom Hardy, dude, I always is that your dog or a dog of the gym?
Yeah. I bring Lulu.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I was gonna say Tom Hardy's one of the celebrities that, like, man, he's about it though. Like, he's actually competing a lot and training all over the place. And
yes,
he's not doing like.
No, I totally respect that. I think that's badass. But see, he's one of those actors that he can fuck up his face and nobody's gonna care.
Yeah, he plays a lot of like badass kind of roles and stuff like that. Tough guy roles.
But like, what's his name? This one guy. God damn, I forget him. He's from like old TV shows and stuff like that, and now he does like master of ceremony stuff or does game shows and stuff like that.
Jiu-jitsu guy?
I forget his fucking name. Yeah, he's a jiu-jitsu guy. But I'm like, yeah, but this guy's not gonna roll hard. Look at him, It's like, you cross face him one time, he's gonna be like, hey, my face.
It's my moneymaker here. Yeah, I think
hey, not the moneymaker. And me, I'm so petty. I'm like, I'm just gonna go and smash his face.
You're just like, he's beautiful, so I must destroy him.
He's very, very good looking. I can't stand it.
That's great. Yeah, I feel like if Tom Hardy gets cauliflower, that'll only help with his roles. Like his
roles are. He's always a roughneck, right? He's always a roughneck. So fuck. Who would I like to choke? A celebrity.
Celebrity to choke.
Fuck.
One of these pretty fellows that you'd like to choke.
If Ryan Seacrest trained, I would like to choke him. Rob Lowe did jiu-jitsu. I would like to choke Rob Lowe.
You're just picking people that are too good looking now. That's what this has come down to. It's not so much about who you want to choke. It's just who's the best. What people look so much better than Kurt and I.
See, look, Jason Statham, he can train real jiu-jitsu.
Sure.
Because he's a fucking one of the tough guy look,
rugged,
right?
Yeah, rugged. Yeah.
So, right? See, those rugged guys, I don't want anything to do with them. I just want the pretty guys.
That's both your jiu-jitsu and your prison policy, isn't it?
It's fucked up. That was fucked up.
Oh, that's great. Did you ever see the thing where Ryan Seacrest tried to high-five the blind guy? On
no.
Oh, dude, I'll send you the clip later. By the way, man,
he's like, hey, and the guy's like,
right. That's pretty much how it went, yeah. Dude, by the way, we did the Jiu-Jitsu BJJ Fanatics podcast theater in our last episode for Halloween, where we went and watched some video clips and commentated over it. Dude, every clip we put up there got flagged by YouTube. So unfortunately, I don't think we can keep doing it. I don't want to cause headaches for our YouTube team, but
why do they flag it? Because it's copyright infringement?
Yeah, I guess so. And I don't get it, because all we were doing was using video clips that other people also took and commented over. It was like movie reviews and stuff. So I don't know how they do it, but then when we do it, I don't know, maybe it's because you're making like crude jokes over horror movies and things like that. And they just didn't like you. Maybe it was all Kurt.
There is the Kurt factor.
There's the Kurt factor. That is something that YouTube, the algorithm picks up Kurt. It really does. All right, so you mentioned Ryan Seacrest and Rob Lowe as people that you'd like to choke, not because you don't like them, just because they're significantly better looking.
Yeah.
And it's just,
yes.
Yeah, that's very relatable. That's very relatable to everybody, I think.
That's good enough for me.
Good enough for most people. What do you think is what's the best advice you ever received in your life?
The best advice. My dad said something to me when I was being a fuck up and I was, riding a motorcycle, partying extensively, selling drugs and doing everything. And he goes, Kurt, no matter what you do, be the best you can be at it. And I was like, He didn't tell me not to do it, but if you're going to do it, be the fucking best at it, right? And so that kind of always stuck with me. And I'm like, well, I could be the best at this, so, then I would try to be the best at jiu-jitsu. And that's what really straightened me out a lot was the jiu-jitsu. And I had a few back and forths there, but like, I'm not going to fucking bullshit. Well, buddy, come on. I fuck up all the time. But yeah, that was one of the best things. He goes, no matter what you do, be the best at it. Like if you're going to be a fuck up, be the best fuck up you can be.
I somehow don't think that was what your dad meant, though.
That's not what he meant. No, that's.
It's like be the best damn drug dealer. Be the best damn motorcycle riding drug dealer you can be.
Fucking move kilos, goddammit.
That's good advice, though, for sure. Oh, man. What do you think was the scariest moment of your life? Craziest near-death experience you've had?
Well, this one time at band camp, we used to go out and party and camp and stay overnight and everything. And then we were out camping and stuff like that. And luckily we were fucking really pretty crazy and heavily armed and stuff like that. And these guys happened to along our camp and everything, and they were like, "Hey, what's up?" And we were like, "What the fuck is wrong with these guys? I got a bad vibe, And so they're like, "Yeah, they're cool. We hang out with you guys." I'm like, "Fuck no, get the fuck out of here," And so we had them go. And so then later that evening we were hanging out, and then we hear screams from across the lake. And these guys had gone over and invaded a different camp, and they were you could just hear screams and then and stuff like that. And it was for a while, and we're like, fuck, man, where's the fucking Rangers and shit? And it was really late. And so the next day we find out those guys went over there, beat and stabbed those people and raped some of the occupants of the tents and everything.
God, dude, are you serious?
Yeah, and it was in the newspaper and everything.
Dude, holy shit, man, that is crazy. And how big was your group you were with?
It was what? 6 of us.
Six guys?
3 guys. No, 3 guys and 3 girls. And they were thinking, easy mark, easy targets, and we were like, hey, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Dude, good thing you said something. Yeah.
Yeah, and so they went and cruised across the bridge where we would jump off of cliffs and stuff. And they went over and invaded a different camp that was a little more susceptible, but that's what's going to happen is they're going to find an easy kill instead of fucking get pressed.
Yeah, they don't want to. They usually don't want to struggle. That's scary, dude. Man, I feel bad for those people they went over to, but I'm happy at the same time that it wasn't you guys. That's crazy, man. Dude, have you been just to pause the pummel for a second? Are you still on Netflix a lot? You still watching a lot of Netflix?
I'm watching a lot of anime, man.
Are you really? Yeah.
Yeah, I love anime. Man. Have you watched Castlevania?
No, I haven't.
Castlevania is good.
I'll check it out.
It's good.
Dude, I've tried on many occasions to try to watch anime, and there's only been like a handful of them that I liked. I liked Ninja Scroll, Afro Samurai.
Oh, yeah.
And Fist of the North Star. And Akira. Akira was like one of the ones.
There's a few good ones that are out now that are new. And so like when I go up to see Kano up in Denver, we watch anime all the fucking whole time.
That's amazing.
And so there's some cool ones. They're like they're not for kids. They're definitely grown up.
Yeah. Now, anime is something
there's nude cartoon girls.
Oh my goodness. Jeez, Kurt. That's exactly your type too. You're a tattoo artist, man. You like the illustrated ladies.
I like pinups.
You like pinups. Dude, so yeah, I've tried over the years to get into anime, and most of them I can't get into them. I just for whatever reason, I don't know if it's the visual or the way the stories are written, or like the translation. I don't know. I have a hard time with a lot of. You got to be into it, right? My kids just discovered
sure.
Pokemon this week for the first time. Like they just figured out what that is. Now they're like all into it.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so now I'm dragged back into kids anime now as a result of that.
Which is really crazy.
Right.
All the new cartoons are fucked up, and like the kids will come here and I'm all, and they're like, and I'm like, hey, you want to watch cartoons? And they're like, yeah, and I put on Looney Tunes, they're like amazed, and I'm all, fuck, what are they watching? And they put on one of their cartoons. I'm like, what the fuck is that? It's not even a cartoon. I don't even know what it is. It's AI, and the people are like moving around like really weird, and it's not like a cross-dressing rabbit, trying to drop an anvil on a coyote. That
much more healthy and like a better example to set, for sure.
I think the first one is better. Cross-dressing Tasmanian devil trying to eat everything, which is really funny if you look at it.
Yeah.
If you think about it, a lot of cartoons cross-dressed.
Yeah, they did. There's a lot of cross-dressing going on in the early Looney Tunes for sure. Well, how else are you going to catch the attention of the villain? How are you going to make him stop his murderous
exactly
to stop him? You got the heart thing that bumps out of the chest, and the eyes that shoot out. Yeah, but dude, I asked about Netflix, dude. I'm watching. You were mentioning the thing about the campsite that you went through. The Sons of Sam. Have you seen the Sons of Sam documentary?
Yeah, I think so.
Bro, it's crazy. Like
he would just walk up and po.
Well, no, but what they found, so they call the documentary Sons, plural, of Sam, because this investigative journalist, he basically figured out that it was a cult of people, not just David Berkowitz.
Yes, exactly.
And so you're going along and you're thinking, like I was thinking as I was watching it, okay, this is just going to be someone that talks about the same old rehashed stuff about Son of Sam, but they have all this evidence and all this stuff to present that didn't get a lot of media attention at the time. Like once they started trying to prove that it was more than one person. And anyway, for anyone that hasn't seen that, dude, I really, really recommend checking it out.
It's good.
It's crazy.
There's a new one on the Zodiac, which was around here.
Yes, you remember?
And they never. I remember that from when I was little and stuff like that. So, and that was all local. That was like up at Lake Berryessa, that's where it happened with us camping, was Lake Berryessa. So that was a spot for the Zodiac to kill somebody too. But they did another one on Zodiac, and like it went through all the evidence, and now we have DNA and stuff like that, because there was no DNA back then.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? They collected samples and stuff, and they put it away, and they're like, all right, we better save this.
It's good. Yeah, it's good that they did do, because there's a ton of cases they've closed that from something they saved from like 30 years ago. They're still able to extract DNA from it. It's pretty crazy.
And you realize how many innocent people do get thrown in the slam.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then, oh, we checked the DNA and it wasn't you. It's like, I fucking said that.
Yeah, it's like 30 years later. Thanks. Yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah.
I feel so bad for people that get put away like that lose their lives. You ever see the story of the boxer Ruben Hurricane Carter? Did you ever see the movie?
No.
Oh, bro, that's one of the worst. As far
What?
as
Does he kill somebody in the ring?
No. He didn't kill anybody. So there was a shooting outside of a club in New Jersey where he was from, and they pinned it on him, and he didn't do it. And he went away for like the majority of his life and then finally got out. There's a whole movie about it. In fact, Denzel Washington played him. The movie's just called The Hurricane. And then
I'll have to check it out.
And then Bob Dylan wrote a whole song about him called The Hurricane. And it's, dude, oh man, just one of those gut-wrenching stories of a guy that got put away for almost his whole life for something he didn't do. But yeah, the DNA stuff is pretty amazing that they can both exonerate innocent people and catch people that did it.
I like to watch all those murder shows, like all the crime
forensic files,
forensic files, fucking anything with like, especially the one with the camera footage and everything. And like, no, this is you walking and then walking into the place where you killed the person, and then we found your DNA, and it's like, it wasn't me.
Yeah.
Come on.
Okay. You know, dude, the forensic files, I don't know what about, there's a new version of forensic files now that's more like upbeat, but the older forensic files from like the 90s and early 2000s, it's the best show in the world to fall asleep to. Like something
I'm watching caught on crimes caught on camera, stuff like that, because now we're starting to do basically what London has, is like cameras all over London, and like if you live there, you literally appear like, I forget what the ratio was, like 7 times a day on camera.
Wow.
Just because you live there, because they have it so surveilled.
Yeah, it's most surveilled in the world, yeah.
So that's what basically we're working towards. And so we have like big nerve centers that have like cameras all over the city, cameras that watch the roads, the primary road. So if you go through there, we're going to see you. If you go there, we see you if you're walking on a normal strip. But basically we're going to go to that CCTV kind of like surveillance of our cities and stuff, of everything.
Yeah, that's a weird one, because I don't know how to feel about that, man. I was just talking to Karen about this the other day. Like, we were watching another thing on Netflix is Get Gotti. It's the whole documentary about how they caught John Gotti and all the stuff that went into it. And one thing we were talking about while we're watching that was like, man, it was so much easier to be either a serial killer or a mobster or a criminal the
further back in time you go.
Yeah, man, there wasn't cell phones.
That's why I'm running around just killing people.
So
remember the scene from Monty Python when he goes into the wedding and and they're like, ah, and he goes, ah, and he starts killing everybody at the wedding. He's like, ah, oh, you're here to rescue me? Ah. So needless to say, that would have been just me. It's just running around hitting people with swords.
Dude, it's one of those things though where like all the things, like when you look at all the things they had to do in order to catch people like John Gotti back in the day, now it would have been like effortless. They would have had his cell phone.
Yeah.
They would have known which cell phone is his. They'd have tracked it through the towers. They would have known where he was when. They could probably listen into everything he ever said through his phone.
Everything. And so there would be no. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess the upside to that heavily surveillance based world we live in is it eliminates things like that, like dangerous people and serial killers. It doesn't eliminate, but it makes it harder for sure. But then the other side of the coin is that you lose your privacy, and we don't really know if our phones are listening to what we're saying, and your toaster is loading you up for ads. It's synced with your refrigerator, and that's sending stuff back to your social media to let you know what ads to show you based on what you talk about. I don't know if all that's true or not, but
no, the other day I was sitting in the living room and I didn't even say it. If you go, hey Siri, it'll answer you, and like I didn't even say that, and I said something. Man, I wonder when the World Cup is on. I know it's in a couple of years and it's going to be here. They're going to play around here, and all of a sudden my phone goes, the World Cup is, and I'm like, what the fuck? I didn't even say anything, and it came up and told me, you know.
That's
things
not good.
Things are listening. Things are listening.
Yeah, that's not good, man. That's not good. It's yeah, that's creepy as hell, dude. There was actually a video I saw where this couple, they don't own a dog, and so they wanted to prove that their phone and that their social media by proxy is listening into what they're saying and showing them things based on what they talk about. So they agreed for like 2 weeks to talk about dog food, to always mention dog food randomly, because it's a specific thing that they don't, since they don't have a dog, they don't have any reason to talk about it accidentally, so they can actually separate that from other language they might use normally. And so every day they would say, oh yeah, don't forget dog food. Or, hey, we got to pick up dog food. Or hey, this, dog food, whatever. Within like 4 days, I think they said, they started receiving ads on social media for dog food. Like all the Alpo, pure,
yep.
What's that one with the P? Pure, whatever.
Sure.
They started all these ads start showing up for dog food, and then they showed it on this YouTube video they made, and I was just like, dude, that's fucking creepy. That's so creepy.
Nah, I had a LG, a nice smart TV and everything. And then this one time I was like talking and I was saying, yeah, I got to get that tree cut. I need to call up a arborist and this and that. And all of a sudden an ad came on. Boom.
Dude, that's so weird. It's so
Davy
weird.
Tree. Give them a call. They'll come over and chop your tree. And I was like, fuck. And I was like, whoa.
That probably didn't help. If you're already feeling paranoid, that probably didn't help very much.
Look, I wasn't paranoid. All of a sudden I was like, fuck, I was just talking about the tree.
Kurt's just in his garage with a screwdriver, like taking apart his electronics and looking for microphones and bugs.
I better go outside and do this.
Oh man, dude, it's pretty crazy. Like speaking of like bugs and stuff, like that Get Gotti documentary, dude, you got to check that one out. It was pretty crazy how back in the 80s they were bugging stuff.
Back in the 80s, exactly. It was fucking Marlboro country. What do you think? Yeah,
dude, they had to be crafty, man. It was pretty amazing how they did. They had a guy in a refrigerator box where they basically had him sitting on the side of the road in what appeared to be just a refrigerator box by the trash. And then when it got to like be real late at night, the guy all of a sudden gets up and starts walking inside the refrigerator box to the door, and he has a little flap where he can pick the lock to the Gemini Club where Gotti's guys all hung out. And he snuck in that way and planted microphones under tables and stuff. But they were crafty, man. They were something else back then.
Yep, you had to be like, now you can fucking listen to shit from fucking far away, but those guys had to fucking go put the shit in there.
Yeah.
If they got caught, they were fucking through. I watched a really cool one called the Iceman.
Oh, about Richard Kuklinski?
That's good.
Oh, dude, I haven't seen. Is it the dramatized one, or are you talking about the interview he did on HBO?
No, I'm talking about. I saw the dramatized one, and then I watched the real one.
Dude, the real one is crazy.
That guy is fucking gnarly.
You talk about a dude that was not born with a conscience or like morals. No. Oh my God, a true sociopath. Yeah, for anyone out there that's like into this kind of stuff, you got to check out the Iceman, Richard Kuklinski's interview that he did on HBO, where he details his whole career as a hitman for the Gambino crime family. It's just, I mean, perfect name for the guy, the Iceman. Dude's just got ice in his veins, man.
Fucking A. Fucking don't go eat with him or have coffee or anything.
Nothing. Dude, the way he would talk about killing people.
You want a coffee? You want a Danish? Fuck no, I don't want anything from you.
I'm out of here. Yeah, see ya. Yeah. Dude,
fuck, we're going to go in this dark alley. You want to go in this dark alley? Fuck you.
Yeah. Dude, it's funny because my kid's godfather is it's real Italian, almost stereotypical Italian New Yorker from Queens, and so I've been like every time I watch anything about New York during like the 70s or 80s, he was there for all of it. So I was asking about the Gotti stuff, the Son of Sam thing. He that was in his neighborhood. That was in Queens where he's from. So he was like, oh, dude, yeah, I remember all that. And man, there was the blackout and so it's interesting how when you meet somebody that lived in a region when something crazy was going on, like you with the Zodiac. I remember the Zodiac killer in the Bay Area and things like that. It's neat when you can have the perspective of someone that was actually there, you know?
Yeah, how it was and everything. It was, yeah, that makes it interesting.
You know what else is a good show? Have you ever seen The First 48?
Yeah.
Oh,
no, I watch that. No, I watch that one all the time.
What gets me about that
Fuck
show?
yeah. Fuck, I know all those guys from fucking Georgia and Oklahoma and fucking all those detectives are all like, oh, what's his name? We're in fucking Tulsa.
Dude, dude,
shit is going off over there in Oklahoma.
I swear, almost every other episode's the city is my city back home in Atlanta. Like Atlanta always is on First 48. There's always an episode with someone in Atlanta getting shot or they're hunting down someone. But dude, I swear, like the thing that gets me about that show is it seems like nobody ever understood the concept of a lawyer. Like they just start talking and they start like some of these people are so easy for the detectives to dupe into talking, into admitting stuff, and it's like and don't get me wrong, it's good that if you're guilty of a crime you were caught for it, but if any of these guys understood to just clam up and lawyer up, they would.
But some of them do. They go, so you're gonna talk to us? And he goes, I want my lawyer. And I'm like, yeah, you piece of shit.
Yeah.
We already got, and I'm sure the detective is going, you piece of shit
pissed.
in his head.
Pissed. Yeah.
And he's all, I already got you, motherfucker. I got your fingerprints. I got your fucking DNA. I got you on camera. Fuck you.
Yeah.
You know?
Detectives always get pissed when they mention a lawyer, but it's amazing how like 99% of the guys just don't do that. They start talking and they just...
Well, that's why they fucking immediately separate you.
Yes, yeah, they get you
like,
away from your friends. Yeah.
Give us your phones.
Yeah.
Give us your phones. You're separated. And then I'm going to interrogate you for fucking hours until you either admit it or you fucking tell me something pertinent to it, right?
Yeah.
So
I also love how nobody has a government name. Like no one has a like their proper name on that show ever. It's always like, where's Pooh Bear? Okay, Pooh Bear shot someone.
I don't know his name. What do you mean you don't know his name?
It's like, oh, you're talking about Cricket. It's like, oh, yeah, okay, who's Cricket? Oh, what's Cricket's name? It's like, I don't know his real name. His name's Cricket. How long have you known him? I've known him for like 20 years. So you know a guy for 20 years and you don't know his real name.
That's life in the hood, bro. It's like, I've known this guy for 20 years. His name is Ping Pong.
Yes. Oh man, no, that show's wild though, dude. All those true crime stuff, those are very entertaining. Even Cops, like if I'm ever feeling bad about my life for any reason, I would just flip on Cops and just watch Cops for a bit, and I'm like, okay, I'm doing okay.
It's awesome.
My life's not that bad, yeah.
They're starting up Most Wanted again.
No, America's Most Wanted?
Yep.
Is it still going to be
America's Most Wanted?
What was it, Rob Walsh? What's his name?
Yeah, it's him.
Rob Walsh, is that what his name is? No, Rob Walsh
yeah,
is the guy
it's
from the
him.
Eagles. Isn't Rob Walsh from the Eagles? Am I getting that wrong?
No.
Okay.
That's wrong.
Okay.
His name is Walsh, though I think
Walsh,
so. But there's a new season out. It just started, and there's a new season of America's Most Wanted.
Oh, no way. That's going to be cool. That'll be pretty cool. You know what else they restarted? They restarted Unsolved Mysteries, too. Remember that show?
Yes. I like that.
That song used to creep me out when I was a kid, man. Yeah, they restarted that, too. It's on, I think, on Netflix also. But anyway, dude, let's keep pummeling here. I know you got to start a class pretty soon. What's your biggest phobia?
I hate large spiders.
Large spiders. That's a common one. That comes up a lot, man. Arachnophobia is a common one in the jiu-jitsu world.
No, I'll kill them. Don't get me wrong. I'll kill them.
Yeah.
But I don't like them.
Yeah, you're not afraid of them. You just strongly dislike them.
I really hate them.
Okay. Fair enough. What's your most hated food? What's something you can't eat no matter what?
Wow. I don't know. Most hated food. I like broccoli. I like Brussels sprouts. I like everything.
Yeah.
I'll eat anything once, and then if it's bad, I won't eat it again. It's like a stupid animal.
What's something you've had that you won't eat again?
Moussaka.
What is that? Is that fermented soy?
No, it's a Greek food. It's kind of like cheese and eggplant.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I remember getting fed that when I was little. That's the only thing I can think of that I don't enjoy that much.
Okay. All right.
and I know I could cook it, but I won't.
All right. Fair enough. If you could have a superpower, what would you choose?
I would choose like immortality, but yeah, immortality would be good.
Immortality, so you live forever. What is the your biggest pet peeve?
I think like I really hate it when people are late.
Yeah, so late to class.
like really late. Like they walk in and they're like, "Oh, hi," and I'm like, "Yeah, we should just wait until you get here so I can start class, right?" Fuck you.
Yeah, if you're trying to run a structured program, that's annoying for sure.
Yeah, no, if you're not on time, fuck. Yeah, that's my pet. That's a pet peeve.
Here's one specially for you. Worst metal band of all time.
Worst metal band of all time. Wow, who would that be? I wouldn't listen to them, so I don't know who they are. I don't know.
Can't think of one off the top
Who
of
the
your
worst metal band?
How about
How
about your current favorite metal band?
My current favorite metal band? I've just been listening to everything. I just listen to the old stuff. I listen to Slayer and Megadeth and Lamb of God and fucking Behemoth and
I've been listening to a lot of Lamb of God lately. You know the song Omerta?
Yes,
I fucking love
that's
that
my walkout song.
Yeah, I've been playing that over and over again, like on the way to training.
Yeah.
It's such a good song.
No, that was great.
It's a good one. And also Omens. Omens is another good one I've been listening to a lot by Lamb of God.
They got a new drummer, so they should be coming through.
That'd be awesome. I love them. I saw them live. I saw them open for Metallica in 2012, 2010, no, 2011, 2011. And I never really listened to them a whole lot. I had a good buddy of mine that was huge into them, and I never really listened to them that much. But when I saw them live, I was like, whoa, I was like, damn, dude. Like ever since then, I was like, bro, these guys are fucking great. Yeah.
I saw them like twice with Slayer. They opened for Slayer, and it was just, they were fucking so good.
That must have been a good show.
And I've seen them by themselves where they're headlining, and that's a killer show too, because they got all the lights and the fucking death screens behind them with like playing war footage and shit like that. It's fucking dope.
That's great, dude. Yeah, there's some good shows coming my way this year. One of them I'm so bummed about because I've wanted to see Iron Maiden. I've never seen Iron Maiden live, and I really want to see them live. And they're going to be here, but it's going to be in December when I'm leaving back to the States to visit my family. So we're going to totally miss the Iron Maiden show. But Megadeth is coming here.
Cool.
And there's
Iron Maiden's always good live. Always. They're always good. And Megadeth is better than when they were in the 80s.
I've heard that. Yeah, I've heard that. As far as live, you mean?
They're
musically.
Well, Mustaine is a brown belt now.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. Dude, yeah, no, I would love to see them if I'm able to, for sure. There's some good ones coming though. Kurt, final question for the Pummel game, man. What is your favorite place in the world that you've been to? You've traveled all over. What's your favorite place you've been to?
Wow. Huh. Everywhere I've gone is really cool. That's what's. I haven't been to an uncool place. I'll let you know when I go to an uncool place. How's that?
That's a good deal, man. That's a good answer.
I'll be like, fuck, I went to this place that was so fucking uncool.
Let me tell Ryan. Yeah. That's good. Hey, Kurt, that was the final question for the Pummel game. Congratulations. You win yet again, and you now are a multiple-time Pummel champion, my friend. Congratulations.
Yes.
Kurt, what are some of your major goals for 2024, man? I know you got to run to class.
I need to get a bunch of seminars going. If you don't want to buy my tape, you can have me over to your fucking academy, and I'll swear profusely and scare your children.
Good family fun for everyone.
It's always good. I can discipline them also. And what else? No, I'm just trying to get myself back together and teach really well. And that's about it.
Awesome. That's outstanding, man. Well, for anyone out there that wants to learn from Kurt, like he said, he's available for seminars. Recommend him to your instructors. He puts on a great seminar. Very entertaining, but also very technical. Like it's really is. He's a great teacher. I've learned from him and trained with him directly several times, and he's got a lot of knowledge to give. So you guys talk to your instructors, and if you have a school, get him booked. If you can't get him out to your school, you can learn from Kurt anywhere in the world here at BJJFanatics.com. One of our best-selling instructionals on the entire site is his instructional Fundamentals of a Jiu-Jitsu Renegade. He touches on great options from literally every position in Jiu-Jitsu, so check that out for sure. You guys can follow Kurt on Instagram. That's where he's most active, Kurt Osiander on Instagram. The YouTube channel is Kurt Osiander Jiu-Jitsu. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notified when he adds new videos. He adds these Move of the Week.
I'm gonna do one today. I'll do a new move of the week. It won't have any metal. I don't know how to do graphics or metal on it, but
dude, just
it'll be something.
Yeah, just upload them raw, man. It's all good. People just like the content.
I'm just gonna put them on Instagram.
There you go. Do like a couple minutes on Instagram. That's perfect, man. So
it's time, Ryan.
Yeah, it's time, guys. All right,
your camera.
My camera went out. It's okay. I'm gonna keep it off. That's gonna do it for this episode, everybody. I appreciate you tuning in. Please stay tuned for the next episode of the BJJ Fanatics podcast.